Our top story this Tuesday, it's a vision that proponents say will transform the economic future of Billings and the state of Montana. Last night, Billings City Council got its first look at the final draft plan for the One Big Sky project. Q2's Russ Riesinger was there for the big reveal.
The vision that we have for One Big Sky is considerably more impactful than even what we thought it might be a year ago.
That vision includes 4 core districts in downtown Billings, each with an anchor of its own. A convention center that might look something like this would be the shining star of the entertainment district.
Half to draw tourists and convention goers in from outside the Montana economy, and half an asset that creates a great anchor in your downtown to support interest from within the community.
Dunn believes many of those out-of-state convention goers would stick around to see more of Montana. The convention center could also be used for festivals, athletic events, or concerts.
Imagine how you could take a venue like this and create maybe the most impactful concert venue in the Mountain States.
Along with making downtown a better place to play or stay, the idea behind the lifestyle district is to make it a more attractive place to live, with new urban housing, a public market, and more retail choices.
If you've got a vibrant downtown, you will bring an urban grocery. You will bring in retailers like an urban Target.
There's also an education district and a civic and wellness district with plans for a new city hall and commercial office space, a new YMCA, and Billings' ever-expanding hospitals.
Imagine for a minute if you had that convention center, that stock of housing, built above a public or next to a public market, and a civic core to your downtown with things like fitness, wellness, urban retail. Do you think that would have an impact on your interest in moving to Billings?
The folks that are entering the healthcare industry today are very different than those who have been working in the healthcare industry for some time. What they're demanding is much different than we've had in the past. We are excited about the vision for revitalization of our community.
I can see Billings as that great city, that great American city of tomorrow. And I can see it happen, and I can see us doing that.
But to make this vision a reality, One Big Sky not only needs to get city leaders on board for helping foot the bill, but also the state legislature. In Billings, I'm Russ Riesinger reporting for MTN News.
The plan for One Big Sky will be presented to the public in several open forums beginning on January 4th, with City Council expected to vote whether to adopt it or not after that. And we'll have Bob Dunn on the show around 6:30 this morning to answer some more questions. Also at last night's meeting, after a lengthy public hearing, the council approved a zoning change to accommodate a new microbrewery and restaurant near Grand and 54th Street West. That project needed the council's approval due to its proximity to the Ben Steele Middle School in West Billings. And a vacancy in the City Council was filled last night. Roy Neese was selected to fill the seat in Ward 2. He's a business consultant and involved in the City of Billings Heights Community Development Task Force. In total, 8 applicants submitted their resumes after Larry Brewster announced he's stepping down in November. Prosecutors allege the driver of the flatbed truck who struck and killed a Montana Department of Transportation employee had been huffing canned air prior to the crash. 28-year-old Ethan Anderson is now charged with felony vehicular homicide and criminal endangerment following the October 24th crash that killed a Billings man. Court documents state authorities found a can of compressed air in Anderson's truck. The product contains a substance often used to get high. Anderson was driving a work flatbed truck when he drove through a construction project at South Billings Boulevard and Interstate 90. 52-year-old Jeff Dyckman was working in the area at the time of the crash. He was struck and pinned by the flatbed truck and died at the scene. Prosecutors say a blood test found Anderson was severely impaired after ingesting or inhaling the canned air. Anderson told police he blacked out and couldn't remember the crash. His bond is set at $100,000. A Helena man is dead after his car was hit by a train Monday morning in Hardin. According to the Montana Highway Patrol, around 8 o'clock, a 50-year-old Helena man was driving down Woodley Lane when he failed to stop for an oncoming train. Authorities say the man was talking to his wife on his cell phone and didn't realize a train was coming. The train hit the driver's side of the man's vehicle. The man was rushed to the Hardin Hospital, then flown to help flight to Billings, where he later died. His name has not been released. Authorities have released the name of the Lodge Grassman who died in a crash over the weekend. 22-year-old De'Allen Little Light was driving on Little Horn Road just after midnight Saturday when his vehicle left the road for unknown reasons and vaulted over an intersection at Wyola Loop. Montana Highway Patrol says the vehicle was airborne for about 130 feet before it landed on its top. Little Light was not wearing a seatbelt and died on scene. Montana Highway Patrol says alcohol and speed are suspected factors in the crash. The Department of Environmental Quality has approved plans to expand the Billings landfill. The 7-phase project will grow the landfill by 350 acres on city-owned property just south of the current landfill site. The controversial expansion has a number of neighbors concerned over possible groundwater contamination and blowing debris. In response, the DEQ asked the city to make adjustments to its application, forcing the project to meet Montana Solid Waste Management Act requirements. A number of tests also showed no potential impact on groundwater in the proposed area. The Yellowstone County Health Officer has 15 days to sign the license, at which point the project can begin. If the letter is not signed, the city may appeal to the Montana Board of Environmental Review. And meanwhile, a challenge against the Magic City's new smoking ban has been snuffed out by District Judge Gregory Todd. The county ban prohibits smoking and vaping within 20 feet of entryways, doors, windows, or vents of public buildings. The Yellowstone Tavern Association went to court in an effort to stop the ban, claiming it was unconstitutional and not based on scientific peer-reviewed findings. But Judge Todd ruled the case did not involve a constitutional right and determined the ordinance was designed to enhance public safety. The Tavern Association says it's considering a possible appeal of Todd's ruling. Elsewhere, keep an eye on the skies over Billings and you may catch a glimpse of one of the largest cargo planes in the world. Crews loaded Bridger steel into this massive Russian plane Monday, which will take the steel to help out with the typhoon recovery efforts in Saipan. The first of 3 flights landed in Billings on Saturday. We're told there are still 2 more flights coming to Billings, so you still have a chance to see one of these big boys land or take off. Airport officials tell us they've had lots of questions from the public about the massive plane and why it's landing in Billings.
I mean, it's something that you don't see very often. People have called here from other states, seen it on flight plans, wanting to know why it's here. And so there's a bunch of metal going to build shelters, some cable for structure recertification, some computers, hygiene material.
McCarthy says he's seen the same caliber of plane come to Billings one other time about 8 years ago, also helping to haul relief aid overseas.